we have to move on to this right here. This, I discovered this. Cristiano Ronaldo, for those of us that watch what folks consider football, not in the American sense though. He has been ruled out. He's not playing right now. Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Juventus in the Italian league. And as reported by The Independent, says Cristiano Ronaldo has labeled his coronavirus test as, quote, BS. After being ruled out of Juventus Champions League match against Barcelona. I'm sure he would have loved that. And I would have loved for him to play that game as well. The Portuguese tested positive on the 13th of October while on international duty and has since been in quarantine in his home. Ronaldo took a PCR test, which is another thing that we have to talk about with cases. Took a PCR test on Tuesday in a late bid to play at the Juventus Stadium on Wednesday night. But despite continuing to be asymptomatic, the test came back positive. Ronaldo said he was feeling good and healthy and that the PCR test is bullish, questioning the efficiency of the swab test used to test COVID-19. So basically, he had tested positive. You know, they're doing this mass form testing, has been completely asymptomatic. And they are still holding him out, of course, and he's looking at the test like there's no way I have it. And I don't know if the test, obviously there's been a lot of coverage about the accuracy of the PCR test. Maybe he has it, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he has it and he's not symptomatic and what have you. Maybe he don't got it at all. I don't know, right? But he has been, what was this, the 13th? So you're running into a couple of weeks for sure. Yet he's still testing positive due to the PCR test, and he's upset, rightfully so. Look, man, again, like I've talked about in the last segment, you are talking about healthy athletes, right? Healthy athletes. Michael Jordan played an entire basketball game with the damn flu, which is probably the most similar virus that we're going to point to this. That is in the same ballpark. Could he potentially get other people sick? Of course. These are athletes, guys, that have access to the best medical attention, but also are in prime shape. The fact that that you feel as if, and this is why I hated it when it was talking about college football, talking about even with basketball, and everybody talks about the positive cases and cases and stuff. Didn't Justin Turner have to sit? Didn't he have to sit out for the Dodgers, if I'm not mistaken? I think he had to sit out for testing. These guys are asymptomatic. They're in the best shape that they'll ever be in, and yet you are withholding them from being able to compete. And it just goes to show how freaking crazy this whole entire thing is. My George's an OG super spreader, says someone in the chat. Like, that's what people did. Like, people would play through sicknesses, through illness. I don't know how many games that I played coming up as a youngster, or how many track meets I ran sick. Like, that's just what we did. We're athletes, bro. We're athletes. Now, for whatever reason, we talk about this virus among healthy populations, right? Very healthy, the healthiest of the population. These are guys that work out about 24/7, man. And they're sitting there withholding them from competition for a virus with a 99% survival rate, near 100% for that demographic, because I'm not aware of any footballers dying from it. So it's amazing how we play. And those of us that have been athletes our lives, you know that, and I can imagine Cristiano Ronaldo, no matter how you feel as a player, I think he dives too damn much to be that damn strong. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, though. It's a topic for another discussion. But Ronaldo, for those of us that have played sports, right? He plays professionally, so I can imagine what I'm about to say is probably heightened for him. That's your life, right? And players play. For those of you that have only played maybe sports momentarily in middle school, you may not understand. It is a certain different vibe. Definitely sports that require a lot of mobility. So when you play basketball, you play football, you play soccer, right? Players play. That's what we do. That's what we've always done. And the only time we sit out is if we absolutely cannot play, right? You've broken something, or your illness has gotten to you so much that you just have to sit out. Other than that, though, we play. We play. Again, I can't tell you how many times I'd been sick and I'd run track meets in the cold, in the rain. And you want to talk about strenuous? You want to talk about strenuous, putting strain on your body? Get out there and run a 4x4. First leg. Get out there and run a 200. And then run a 100, run a 200. And then run a 4x1 first. Right? And then run 100 and run a 200. Right? It sucks, but that's what we do, right? For those of you that were actually dog sick, right? And you still wanted to play. That's what I was experiencing growing up. You'd see people that would, your teammates are they're throwing up, but they still want to play. And the coach has to actually say, all right, son, I got to sit you out. I got to save you from yourself. But that's them like throwing up their guts, right? Like every second. Not some fool asymptomatic that potentially has a virus that has a 99% survival rate, has no symptoms. Could you imagine sitting out of an event, of a game, being completely asymptomatic? They just randomly started testing people? And you just, he tested positive for this virus, for influenza. We got to sit him out. Could you imagine that? What the hell is wrong with the world, guys? And that's the thing, with me, when I was an athlete, that's how I tried to overcome the sickness, was getting out there and to start running, start breaking a damn sweat. If it was, let's say, the off season, I got the sniffles. I'm like, man, I got to get my energy back. Let me go run some laps, run some sprints. It's unbelievable. And I feel for, again, when you are definitely, Ronaldo going against Barcelona, that's the Ronaldo Messi thing. I know he's probably itching to play that game, and they're going to sit him out. And I just think it's so crazy that we're treating who are the best, the people that are in the best shape of anybody, the rest of the population, right? Because they do this stuff professionally. Their job is to literally get out there and compete. Their job is to compete. I can imagine being told you can't play and you have no symptom. You can't play and you have absolutely no symptom. Unbelievable. I just can't even. Again, for those of us that have been athletes, definitely if you ran, let's say if you did something post high school, right? Like I did. or you either went through the collegiate level or you went professional. You can imagine how crazy it sounds for you to be told that you cannot play a game because of something that has a survivability rate. Just imagine if it wasn't this hysteria surrounding the virus, and we just went on about our day, and there wasn't this media hysterics and all these countdowns and tickers always focusing on the numbers. It would be absolutely laughable that one of the greatest football players of all time, in Cristiano Ronaldo, is being told that he can't play a game and he has no symptoms. That's friggin' crazy. But that's the world that we live in.